Right, this week we've got another little tip coming up. We're going to have a look at a few vans as well. Right, so we're trying to be quick because I've just had to kick Mark out of this one. This is, yeah, it's just about to start. So, little Bailey Discovery D44. Look at this little fixed bed, 2020. What year is it? J. Can't remember.
I like this. Can we keep it?
Can't remember what year this is.
What's the weight on this? Tapes.
It's not an 18.
1206.
Yeah, let me just check this. I think we've cocked up here, you know.
Oh dear. The
Panic,
moral of the story
panic
is...
over. Look, from inside, it looks like a J. That's a J. BYJ. When you're checking a Chris number, check it from outside. I'm looking at that, I'm going, it's a J. That's an 18. It's supposed to be a 20. I'm positive we've checked all this. So, Chris numbers, I'll put a link on the top here popping up. If you've not checked your Chris numbers, or you don't know how to check the Chris numbers,
You walk
popping
outside.
up, have a look properly. So again, we've done this before. 10th digit on the, trying to rush, aren't we, is the problem. 10th digit on the VIN number or the Chris number will tell you what the actual date is. And I'll put in, I've got a little thing actually, with all the different older vans, newer vans, so I'll put that up onto the screen there, so that'll tell you what year it is. But looking from the inside, it looks like a J, which would be a 2018. So you can tell how this video is going, can't you? Have you had a look in the washroom? Cracking. A little van. Do you know what this has got?
What?
It's got something.
Under a bed?
No, it's got the awning. We're going to put that up at some point.
When the wind dies down.
Yeah, so that'll be a video of its own coming up. So cracking little van. Mark, you can carry on with that one. So he's just cleaning that, getting it ready for sale for this weekend. 17,995, and that includes the awning. It's supposed to be good, but I don't know whether it is or not. So we'll see. Swift Charisma 535. Be careful on this because I've not put the legs down on the back yet. 2007, this one, 7995 it is. Cracking little fixed bed. 1300 kilograms this. Beautiful. So nice little fixed bed. We've got the video, the tip, similar sort of layout of this, and we was checking all the water system, and basically it's a great time to get your water system checked up and check all your taps, etc. Think, touch wood, the water is not going to freeze up from now on, hopefully. So we looked at that on Friday, so we're not going to go back in on that. We've got the Swift Eccles. We've had a very quick peek in this before. Cracking, beautiful van, this one. 20,995. This is a 2018.
Smells like new.
Yeah, it's a nice van, this is. It's got all the Aldi central heating. Some nice six berths about we've got at the minute. Some real nice six berths. Got a motor mover, the electric, all the normal stuff. So that's a nice van. Another one, the Freestyle. We had a look at this before quickly. We'll have a proper look in this one. And yeah, basically I'm just going to do in a minute popping up showing you how to go through your water system, all the things that we would do on a service, how to check the water system, but then it's a great time to sort of put the Puri clean in as well. So I'm going to show you how to check all your taps, how to make sure there's no leaks, a little tip on how to make sure that there isn't any leaks that you can't see anywhere as well. So watch out for that in a minute coming up once we've done this little tour. This is 2995 again. This is the 2018. It's got a motor mover on this as well. So a nice big twin axle. Another fixed bed. You can tell we've been buying in fixed beds and six berths. I've been saying this for ages, six berths, fixed beds. We've got a nice two berth that we've got the potential to buy, but I've run out of money. We're just waiting for a couple of vans that are sold to go out before I and I'm trying to save obviously a little bit as well for the new site that it's taking forever, but this is a nice one, isn't it?
Much difference in weight between these two?
Yes, so that's a twin axle, but it's still lightweight. This is 1600 kilograms.
Yeah.
It's the Challenger High Style 560. So with the High Style, you get a few extras. You've got the motor mover as well. But yeah, 1600 kilograms. That freestyle that we looked at, which is a twin axle, this will surprise you. This will. 1645.
So it's not a lot of difference.
Not a
weight-wise,
huge
really.
amount of difference at all. So yeah, that's very light for a big twin axle. It's got that nice fixed bed in there. What else have we had in? I can't think of a lot else that we've had in really. I think the majority of the stuff up there that we've seen before. Let's say I'm going to play the clip now of us just showing you how to check your water system. It's a great time to put the PuriClean in. If you're having troubles with your flush, putting the PuriClean in the flush system, somebody give us that little tip about not using the bleach in there, but try the PuriClean. They reckon it's quite good, so try that. This will be the video now popping up, and it will show you how we check a water system. So it's things like this in our water system that can cause us a bit of a pain. The little O-ring, little rubber seal is actually broken, so we need to order some new seals. So just checking your rubber seals, giving this a lubrication up with a bit of Vaseline, making sure that your pipe isn't all curly. You want a nice straight pipe if possible, because when you put this into that barrel, you don't want it curling up out of the water. So do make sure that your pipe is nice and straight in that water barrel. I'm going to plug that in. Again, a little bit of Vaseline will help wonders on getting it in as well if it's a little bit tight like that. So all I've put in at the top there is I've put trauma. I think that's done a spell correct thing. But basically, yeah. So if you just put in whatever type of water pump that it is,
eBay.
And then yeah, there's just straight on there. So a couple of quid for a new set of seals, and they've got all the different types of pumps as well. So just select which type of pump it is. Normally there's the whale pump, the Truma, or it might even be an old Carver one like that one there. So if you just put the details of what it is, and then yeah, you can just order a couple of new ones there. So should be all right just to be able to check the water system. But if we start having problems, obviously we're going to have to replace those seals first before we can really do our proper checks. But fingers crossed, with just that one seal on, we should be okay. So we're going to make sure all of our taps are closed. We're going to make sure that our drain valve on this one is just tucked down here, the yellow one. So we're going to make sure that is closed. So it's difficult to see that one.
Oh, yeah,
so just make sure that's closed, and then we can put our water pump on. So we'll just make sure we've got our power a little bit low, so we're gonna have to put our charger system back on, and we're using our All Powers S2000. So we'll plug this in. Got our 230 on, so that should charge that system back up. We'll knock that one off for a minute. That should give us enough power, so we'll put our water pump on. We'll now listen out, make sure that our water pump is actually getting through, and we'll start on our hot tap. And again, it's going to probably take about 30-40 seconds just to start getting a bit of water coming through, and then about 5 minutes to actually get all the water through the system. If you find that it's not getting the water through, and it doesn't feel like it's getting any water through, or as much water as it should be, then obviously just make sure that a bit of Vaseline, even on one seal, should just get it working and make a seal outside. But just try and have a look, make sure there's no water dripping, there's no leaks anywhere, and then also that it just sounds like our pump is actually doing what it should be doing, and it's not really loud. Sometimes when it's making a really loud noise, it might be drawing a lot of air in. So again, the other way is just pop it onto the cold system, and again our cold system should get that water through. So if we've got it on the cold side of the tap, we know then that we've got the water coming through, so we can then pop it onto the hot tap and get that coming through a bit better. So we'll start on the kitchen tap. We'll let that start getting that water through, And again, what we can normally do then is if we've got other jobs to start checking on with the caravan, we can do that. This is a great time as well. If it's beginning part of the season and you've not done it already, get some Puri Clean, put it into your Aquaroll, fill your Aquaroll up, give it a good shake around so it Puri cleans your Aquaroll. Leave it in the Aquaroll for a good hour or two, and then we'll pump it through the caravan and get it all through the taps on the actual caravan itself. That will then just allow all of the system within the caravan to have the Puri Clean running through and clean all of your pipes out. Another thing is on this type of tap, normally on the end of the spout we've got a little screw off part and a little filter. Whoa, I've thrown it about. So again, good idea just to take that out and just give it a check, just make sure that it's all nice and clean. Once we start to get a steady flow, we can move on to our next tap. Pop that one back on. So again, we'll check our bathroom tap. Pop it on the cold first just to get that through, and then on the hot. And again, we've got air in the system, as you can see there. So again, nice flow of water now, so we'll turn that off. Again, another thing that it is quite wise to be doing at this point is just having a quick look underneath and just making sure there's no signs of any leaks or anything like that. Sometimes this little O-ring in here might not be in or might not be fitted properly, so again, just make sure that your little O-ring, that black rubber, is fitted. And again, we need to get the water through on the shower, otherwise we're going to have air in the system. So again, exactly the same, hot and cold. And again, we're checking, actually, this end, make sure that we've got no leaks. I'm going to turn the tap hot and cold, turn that back off and just make sure that the pump is actually cutting out. So if we go back to the pump for a second. So should be about 30 seconds it'll run and then it should cut out. We're going to leave that for about 5 minutes now, just pressurised up. Make sure that the pump isn't kicking in or kicking out, and that'll give us a good idea if there's any leaks or not. If after about 30-40 seconds that pump's kicking back in, there's either a bit of air still in the system, so we just go back to every tap and just get the water through again. Just make sure that we've not got any big spurts of water coming through. So we'll do that on all of the taps. And again, if the water comes out as it is there, you pretty much know that the system is fairly full. We're not coughing and spluttering anymore, so we know that our water system is fairly full. Just double check that again. So again, 30-40 seconds and the pump cuts out. So that is working perfectly. So it's now just leaving it for about 5 minutes pressurised up, and we'll make sure that we've not got the pump kicking in or out. That's also going to give the system now time, if you've put the Puri Clean in there, to start working its magic on all of the pipes, etc. What we can do in between time now is start putting our heating system on the hot water. So on this one we've got the Truma, so we're going to select our hot water, which is this one, and we're going to go to our boost. We're going to go to our 60 degrees, and we're going to select 60. We're on our gas today, we're checking that through with the gas, so again we're going to make sure now that that is working on the gas system. It works a little bit quicker heating the water up on the gas, so what we're going to tend to do is make sure it's just kicking in first of all, and then we're going to swap it down to the 40 degree setting and just make sure that it's starting to heat that water on the 40 degree setting. Let it get up to the 40 degree setting on the gas and make sure that it's kicking out and in properly, and then we'll put it onto the electric setting and we'll put it onto the 60 degrees and just make sure that the electric is then heating it up to the 60 properly. So start on the 60 very first, just to make sure it's kicking in. You might be able to hear that now. Take my microphone off for a second. So you should hopefully have heard that kicking in, and again hopefully you can hear that outside coming out of the vent. So we know that now is working, so we know that the heater is actually working. We're going to select our hot water again and we're going to drop it down to 40 degrees, and we're going to again leave that for about 5 minutes now to heat that water up in the system. Make sure that the boiler then cuts out, so you can physically or actually hear the boiler warming that water up now on the gas. And we're going to wait now, make sure that the pump doesn't kick in or out, and we're going to make sure that that then gets up to 40 degrees and cuts out, and then we can put that over to 60 degrees on the electric and make sure that's doing as it should be doing. We'll then literally be going through in between that and having a look. If you can get your hands up to the pipes on the actual tap, just running your hand down the water pipes just to make sure that we can't feel any water dripping anywhere. We'll make sure that we've not got any water coming out by the spout anywhere onto the worktop. And again, we're going to do that on all of our taps, so make sure that the actual tap doesn't feel like it's got any leaks on the actual tap itself. And then all of our pipe work again, so we're going to rub our hand along our pipes on the hot and the cold right up to the bottom of the tap, and just make sure that we've got no feel of water or anything like that dripping down, no signs of any leaks. And again, all the time while we're doing this, we're still listening out to make sure that water pump isn't kicking in. And again, a little bit more difficult on this type of fitting where it's all behind the plastic. So what we're going to be doing on this one is just having a good look and making sure we've got no signs of any water down in the actual shower tray. So we'll physically check that first. In about half an hour, we'll come back and we'll double check make sure that we've got no water down there again. While we're in the bathroom again, we're going to get our flush water through. And you see there's a bit of black stuff. Can you see all the black rubbish coming through on the water pump there? So just going to run that for a second. And then last week's tip, we said about putting bleach in the water system for the flush water and flushing that through a couple of times. Somebody says, why don't you actually use the PuriClean? Because the PuriClean is a lot safer and a lot nicer for the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the PuriClean into a bottle of water, fill that header tank up, and then flush that through for a couple of times just to make sure that it's coming through the pump okay and we've got no blockages. And then we're going to leave it in the tank, we're going to drain it off, and then we're going to fill it back with clean water. So yeah, that was our little tip for this week, just how we check our water system. And by leaving the pump on pressurised for a good 10-15 minutes and just listening for it, basically, you can be doing your other jobs in there, checking through. If your pump is kicking in and out, it's not always saying that the pump or there's a leak within the system. It could be an issue with the actual pump itself, but it's a pretty good indicator that you might have a leak. So you might have a link. I can't get my words out. As you can tell, today's video has been a mad dash. So next week we're going to plan a bit more time, trying to get a review video for next week as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week at some point.